This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman and Riley Smith. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Dustin Hoffman.
Well, good day, everybody, and welcome to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Dustin Hoffman. Today is Friday, July the 8th, 2022, and we thank you for joining us. Coming up on today's show, I talk with NPPC President-elect Scott Hayes. We also get a check of our ag weather outlook, but first, let's run down how those markets finished the week. It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net. Well, we're at the end of another trading day and end of a week, and we're going to talk with Robin Schmall of agmarket.net. Robin, what did we see in Friday's trade?
Well, we saw some really strong gains today, and that goes along with what we saw yesterday. Yesterday, corn closed the chart gap in December, and today beans closed their chart gaps on the way up. Now, we've got a couple of different things there. The export sales today were not good. We did see some declines for this marketing year, a negative or cancellations of 2.6 million bushels, but then 4.4 million bushels for sales for next year. Soybean cancellations were 5.9 million bushels this year, but they had sales for next year of 8.8 million bushels, and wheat sales were pretty good, 10.5 million bushels for the marketing year. But what we're seeing now is pushing some of it as an oversold market, but also there was a weather forecast that put in increased probability of a heat dome coming in the middle of July. And that could really be detrimental based on corn pollination. So I think that's part of what's really pushing the market this week. So we had some strong gains to close out the week, strong two-day gains. We're probably retracing, and probably if that heat dome, if more of the weather continues as such forecast, we're probably going to see quite a bit higher markets potentially next week.
Outside of the weather, what other things are affecting those grain markets right now? Well,
we do have, in all, we've had some fairly decent demand. And so that's really been there. China supposedly has been rumored to have purchased a bunch of corn again. It's not confirmed, but that's a rumor that's out there. We also saw ConAb reducing some of the crop for soybeans and corn out of South America. So those are also something else that is supporting that market on more of the fundamental standpoint, relative to the just technical or weather. Now, the other side of it, we've had some spotty rains. I mean, they've called for good coverage of rain across the Midwest areas, but there's a lot of areas in the Midwest to the southern part of the Midwest that really are struggling. We've seen pictures of corn that's really curled up. It's getting to a critical point in time now. So the red rains weren't really widespread coverage, but I think we're looking at a reality here that as the corn crop conditions declined, like 3% on corn this week, 2% on soybeans, we may see some more further deterioration of that.
What about on the livestock side of things, Robin? How do those cattle and hogs play out today?
Well, cattle were struggling, and even though live cattle had steady to higher cash this week, as feedlots were able to hold out, getting packers to step up to the plate, it really didn't impact the market that much. Now, we've got a pretty significant discount in the August cattle contract to the cash, but the trade really is cautious on that. They're looking at the potential for slower demand based on inflation. Are we going to move into a recession? There is reports of backing away of some of the beef purchases on the retail side, although there was some restocking over the July 4th weekend, which helped box beef price early this week, but box beef price has been struggling the last couple of days. And today we were mixed basically on the midday report. So we saw choice a little higher, select down. We don't know where the end of it will be, but that they're struggling, and the feeder cattle have been following, or I should say not following, but reacting to the corn price. So feeder cattle were under pressure yesterday, under pressure today because of the higher corn prices. Now, feeder cattle have been actually fairly decent in the sale barns, seeing some higher prices because some of the pastures are good. There's some optimism there, but that really hasn't translated over into the futures. Now, when we look at the hog market, that actually had a pretty good week this week, especially in the front months. Now, today we see a little bit of unwinding of spreads going on with lower prices in earlier months and back fronts a little bit higher. But they've had a real good week. They've had a positive week for cutouts overall. And so they've been really, really shining again a little bit this week. And the export sales were good today. They were 3% lower than last week, but they were still up at 31,200 metric ton. Beef export sales were down. They were down 25% from the previous week, so they were at a pretty low. But on the hog side as well, there was a confirmed case of African swine fever in Lower Saxony, Germany. That's a large producing area in Germany, so we'll see if that has any real impact or if that can stay under control. Cutouts at midday were up at $2.02, but that was really led by strong hams and ribs at the midday report.
All right. Well, a lot of great information for producers to be thinking about. If they want to talk about marketing strategies, look at some of the options they have available. How do they get in touch with agmarket.net?
They can call me directly at 877-256-3253, or they can go to our website, agmarket.net, and see the general phone number on there, as well as some other contact information.
That again was Robin Schmall of agmarket.net. Let's go ahead and take a look at those closing numbers, courtesy of the folks at Bar Chart. September corn was up 24 1/4 at 633 1/4. December up 27 1/4 at 623 1/2. August soybeans were up 28 at 1513 1/4. November up 31 cents at 1396 1/2. Soy meal for August up $7.80 at 31.30 per ton. Soy oil up 97 cents at 62.59. Chicago wheat up 55 cents at 891 1/2. Minneapolis wheat up 56 at 990 1/2. Kansas wheat up 56 1/2 at 945 3/4. Oats for September up 26 1/2 at 492 3/4. On the livestock side, October live cattle down 90 cents at 138.95. August feeders down 75 cents at 171.72. Lean hogs down 40 cents at 112.85. Pork cutouts unchanged at 112.75. Class 3 milk up 13 cents at 22.77. And that's been a check of our ag market recap. We're going to take a short break and hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soy Checkoff. When we come back, I talk with NPPC President-elect Scott Hayes. This is Ag Matters PM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Welcome back to AM/PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Dustin Huffman. Last month, we had World Pork Expo here in Des Moines, and we got to talk to a lot of leaders in the pork industry. And I had the chance to talk with NPPC President-elect Scott Hayes, and here's what he had to say about the current state of the pork industry. We're here at World Pork Expo 2022 in Des Moines with the National Pork Producers Council, and I'm with Scott Hayes. He is the President-elect. And Scott, thanks for taking a few minutes to talk with us today.
Well, thanks for being here. We appreciate you guys coming out and covering this for us.
So obviously World Pork Expo talking all things in the pork industry across the globe, but what's something that you guys are focusing on here as far as, I know, like there's trade, there's all sorts of kinds of things, disease prevention, all that kind of stuff. What's something that you guys are really focusing on this year?
Well, we're excited about our new logo, our rollout of our logo, our strategic plan, just our plan moving forward for the industry. We've got a lot of work to do on trade, as you mentioned, and Obviously, ASF is front of mind for all producers, and especially for NPPC, and trying to keep that out of the country.
So let's talk new logo first. I mean, rebranding sometimes always gives everybody kind of a fresh perspective, fresh look. Tell us why it's important to kind of just redo that kind of thing, or reset everything.
You know, we've had a lot of change at NPPC in the leadership, some staff changes. We've got more funding now, and it just felt like it was time to rebrand and kind of kickstart all that off. We're excited about the things that we have happening, the staff that we've got coming on, and the opportunities that present themselves for producers to be successful moving forward.
All right, and another thing you talked about, obviously trade, and obviously making sure we have those markets developed both domestically and with foreign. Obviously, what's going on that trade front? What are some things you guys are excited about, some things maybe you're concerned about?
Yeah, so trade's been a bit of a challenge for us this year. As you know, China's not taking as much product after getting their herd rebuilt. We were fortunate to get quite a bit of product into the Philippines last year on some tariff relief, and we don't have that tariff relief this year, but we're working on it. Still hopeful that we'll get that done. You know, our friends in Mexico are taking a lot of product. That's the bright spot on trade. The Colombians are using quite a bit of product. So we just need to keep those markets open. Keep those trading partners, willing to take products.
You know, when we had that Chinese trade war, obviously we learned, and we really hit that home with all commodities, was don't have all your eggs in one basket. So if a China trade disagreement happens, we're not all hurting. And so diversification has been something very important, and again, that's across the board.
Yeah, so that's one thing that we are fortunate. We send pork to 100 different countries around the world. The majority of the pork goes to the 20 countries that we have free trade agreements with. So obviously, we like free trade. We'd like to do more of them, and we're working on getting back into the CTPPP. With those countries, it's going to be a bit of a challenge. We're also talking to the UK. Mm-hmm. We're in talks with them. We'd like to get product in there since they pulled away from the EU. We think there may be an opportunity there as well.
All right, and what kind of a message do you want to send out to those hog farmers, especially here in Iowa, where we're having some ups and downs with the markets and things like that? What kind of a message do our producers need to hear?
Well, I hope producers are excited to be in the business. I know it is a challenging time with input costs and what they're doing. We've had some disease pressure this year. Personally, I've experienced some of that. That's always a challenge. But the market price seems to be it's good right now. So hopefully that continues. Domestic consumption is good. So I think it's we got a bright future ahead of us. And I hope all producers feel that.
All right. Well, Scott, we thank you so much for taking the time to visit with us here today. That again was NPPC President-elect Scott Hayes here on AM/PM. Let's run down a check of that weather outlook. Well, we had partly sunny to mostly cloudy skies today, depending on your philosophical leaning, if you're a glass half empty or half full kind of person. But we did see the sun poke through after some rain shower activity overnight and a little bit again this morning. But those showers are supposed to push off, and we could see sunshine returning. That could also bring along some much warmer temperatures. We'll take a look at what the National Weather Service has in store for the next 24 hours. As we said earlier, partly sunny to mostly cloudy skies, depending on your philosophical leanings. And we saw those showers and thunderstorms pushing their way off to the east. Highs today again were the upper 70s to the mid 80s. Tonight, look for partly cloudy skies and highs in the low to upper 60s. And tomorrow, mostly sunny, highs in the low to mid 80s. Taking a look at the affiliate weather map for Cherokee, Waterloo, and Clinton, it all looks pretty much the same. Sunny skies and highs around 82. Albion will be sunny and 83. Des Moines sunny and 84. Shenandoah, the hotspot on our map, sunny skies and 85 degrees. For more detailed forecasts in your area, tune to your local Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network affiliate. And that's been a check of our ag weather outlook. And just like that, we're at the end of today's show. You can find all our content online at iowaagnet.com, as well as follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and also our YouTube channel, where you can find past episodes of AM/PM and all of our video work. So don't forget to click that like button and also click the bell icon so you can get notified anytime we post new videos. You can also find free Twice Daily Market podcasts on Amazon, Apple, Google, Spotify, and Podbean. From the iARN studios in Des Moines, I'm Dustin Huffman. For Avery Haskell and Riley Smith, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.